Hello, everybody. Hope you're having an amazing day. I made a 90s rock band tier list. This is going to be super challenging to rate all of these, to put them in categories because they're all so good in their own regard. Um, the 90s probably gave birth to some of the greatest bands of all time. So this is going to be hard. First up, we got Alice in Chains. Now, Alice in Chains, they can't be debated as one of the greatest rock bands of all time, specifically because of Lane Staley. His vocal range was amazing. His voice was so unique, and we lost him too soon, honestly. And the guitar work from Jerry Cantrell, it really can't be matched. Um, they're just a great band. We're starting off strong. Alice in Chains is going into S tier. Moving on to Blink 182. Blink 182 really changed the punk scene because they started off as a very punkish band. Mark Hoppus, the bassist, Tom DeLonge, singer, guitarist, Travis Barker, the drummer. The band is great. I like them a lot. Miss You, which came off this album actually, is personally my favorite song by them, and most of you all know it's a big meme about how Tom DeLonge sings it. His voice is super unique too, just like Lane Staley's. So because of that, they're gonna go into B tier. Next, we got Foo Fighters. Foo Fighters are spectacular. They just have so many classic songs. My Hero, The Pretender, Best of You, Everlong. Can't forget about Everlong. The list could go on and on forever. And that is why Foo Fighters goes in to. I wish I could put it in between A and S. Because I don't think they're on the same level as Alice in Chains. So we're gonna stick them in A, but keep in mind they're like an A plus. Now, next up, we got Goo Goo Dolls. And to be honest, guys, I really only know 3 of their songs. But those songs are really good. They're good. Iris, Name, and Slide. And with that being said, I'm going to put them into C tier because my lazy ass doesn't want to listen and delve down into their whole discography. Alright? Alright. Now on to Green Day. I know I'm going to upset a lot of Green Day stans when I say this, but Green Day does not deserve S tier. Green Day, I would say, doesn't even deserve A tier. Now, I could go as far as to say that they don't even deserve B tier and put them in C, but I won't. Only because of the fact that their older music makes up for their crappy, ungodly albums that came afterwards. Like, their newer songs just aren't that good. They're not. You can't pretend that they are. And I'm I'm no fucking Anthony Fantano, all right? I'm just a guy making a tier list right now. So don't take my. You probably don't even take Anthony Fantano seriously, but don't take me seriously. Don't. Because I'm putting them into B tier. All right, next up we got Korn. Now, ooh, just having your band be named after a food, that immediately bumps you up to B tier. Immediately. No questions asked. And then having a scat master, not shit, a scat master, like the singing technique, like Jonathan Davis, in your band, that puts you in A. I mean, no one can do that as well as him. Let's face it. And Freak on a Leash is a jam. I blast that in my car all the time. And they have a bunch of other great songs like Dead Bodies Everywhere, Coming Undone. I could go on and on. So, with that being said, Korn is going into A tier. I've been waiting this whole video to rate Limp Bizkit. Okay? They're just the greatest rock band of all time. Not even just the 90's. Not even just rock. They're just the greatest band of all time. Led Zeppelin ain't got shit on Limp Bizkit. Fleetwood Mac? Move aside! I could go on the ways that Limp Bizkit are just the greatest band of all time. No questions asked. And that's why they are going into S tier. No. Okay, moving on to Nirvana. Now, I'm kind of scared to rate Nirvana just because of the fact that I see so many people nowadays saying, "Oh, Nirvana's the greatest band ever, the greatest band of all time." They were a good band. Don't get me wrong. Kurt Cobain was an amazing songwriter. Dave Grohl was an amazing drummer, and Chris Novoselic, he was an inspiration on bass to a lot of bassists, including me. But I'm sorry to say, but they are just overrated. They are they are just overrated, guys. That's all I have to say. And because of that, they're not S tier. Um, Nirvana is going into B tier. Um, don't take this to heart. I'm just a guy making a tier list video. I'm not a fucking music critic, okay? So don't come crying to me with your feelings hurt, all right? Because you'll make me cry. No doubt. No doubt is no doubt a great band. They're great. This is where Gwen Stefani got her start. Um, the bass lines in No Doubt songs are incredible. Spider webs don't speak. Just the fact that they have Don't Speak in their discography. Oh my god. That is just a. No doubt. Next up, we have Pearl Jam. Despite the fact that sometimes I can barely understand what Eddie Vedder is singing in their songs, it just it hits me in my soul, especially in Black and Jeremy. He it hits me in my soul. Hits me right in my heart, man. When he's singing gibberish, it makes me feel some sort of special. So combine Eddie Vedder's vocals with Pearl Jam's unique style, I'd put them in A tier. On to Red Hot Chili Peppers. Now here is another band which, if you like Red Hot Chili Peppers, you're not built different. There are so many people who love Red Hot Chili Peppers. And somebody ruined Red Hot Chili Peppers for me when they mentioned that every song kind of sounds similar. And then when I went back and listened, I was like, this guy's kind of right. Their songs, if you just played, you know, a Red Hot Chili Peppers greatest hits album to someone who has never heard Red Hot Chili Peppers before, they would probably think that that's just one ginormous fucking 45-minute song. It's so. With that being said, Red Hot Chili Peppers goes into C tier. Now we got Soundgarden. Chris Cornell, rest in peace. He's another person who, just like Eddie Vedder, some of the lyrics in his songs were just so weird, but so good at the same time. Like you could interpret his songs, Soundgarden songs, in so many different ways, and that's what made them special. Um, they're just a great band. Black Hole Sun, Fell on Better Days, Spoonman. Who doesn't love Spoonman? For that, Soundgarden goes into. I wish I had. I could say I can put them in between the categories because Soundgarden is like a B plus. So I'll put them right there in front of everyone else. Next on the list is Stone Temple Pilots. So here is where my opinion is going to shine. It's where I'm going to show my opinion. I know Stone Temple Pilots isn't the most unique sounding band to come out of the 90s rock genre. Um, in fact, they were even described as sounding like other bands from that time. But there's just something about them that just spoke to me whenever I listened to their songs. Interstate Love Song, Big Empty, Lady Picture Show. Did I say Interstate Love Song? I love that song. It's so fun to play on bass. Wicked Garden. They're just a really good band. So I'm going to put them in A tier. Next up, we have Sublime. They have some really great hits. Like Do in Time, April 29th, 1992, which, fun fact, Bradley Nowell actually says April 26th, 1992, but they kept the mistake in. And Santeria, of course, a classic. And they had a lot of popular songs, and Bradley Nowell was a great songwriter, singer, and guitarist. And Eric Wilson, he came up with some of the most fun bass lines that a bassist could ever play. There's not one moment in a Sublime song where you're just sitting there. So, taking that into consideration, I'm putting Sublime into B tier. Now, Third Eye Blind falls into the same category as Goo Goo Dolls for me, where they don't really have a lot of songs that speak to me on a higher level as some of these other bands do. Granted, they do have some great songs like Semi Charmed Life, How's It Going to Be, Never Let You Go. Those songs are great, but those are the only songs that I can actually name off the top of my head that I actually listen to on repeat. So, Third Eye Blind is a great band, but I'm gonna have to put them in the C tier. Next, we have The Offspring. The Offspring are special. If you didn't know, The Offspring's debut album was actually released under their own independent label, and is, if I believe correctly, the best-selling independent album of all time. So that just puts them on a whole new level. Keeping that in mind, um, Come Out and Play, Why Don't You Get a Job? I like The Offspring a lot. I went through a phase of listening to a lot of their songs. I think The Offspring deserves to be in B tier. Smashing Pumpkins. Smashing Pumpkins, in my opinion, are they just sound so good. They the Smashing Pumpkins had their own unique sound that separated them from a lot of the alternative bands of the 90's. Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness, that's when their sound really started to separate from other bands. Their level of creativity was just through the roof. Um, I debate Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness as one of the best albums from the 90's. Really defined a whole generation. So Smashing Pumpkins goes into A tier. Last but not least on this list, we have Weezer. Now, Weezer is one of those bands where you either like him a lot or you don't like him. There's really no in between. They have a great bunch of songs off of multiple albums: Hash Pipe, Say It Ain't So, but there are, for me, a couple of songs that drop them in my rating system, such as, what's the one that goes, gimme, 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 gimme. What's that one called? Where it's like, just a no down, beat down fool, and I will always be that way. What is that called? Is it called Beverly Hills? I think it's called Beverly Hills. Beverly Hills, that's where I want to be. Gimme, gimme. All right, enough of that. With all that being said, Weezer does not deserve to be put in D tier or C tier. I think Weezer has a comfortable home in B tier. So there it is. There's my tier list of 90's rock bands. Now, again, this is just my opinion. I know a lot of people their tier lists would be extremely different from this. I can't wait to be beat down for putting Nirvana as low as I did. um, but it is what it is. All right. Have a good one, everyone. See you next time.